So hello everyone, and I would also like to say a very warm welcome to today's talk and lecture with Dr. Prashant Kakoday. And the topic of today is the positive universe. So I'm also very curious and interested to hear more about this and how we will explore it and go into the depth and understand new aspects of our awareness. And I would like to say a few words about Prashant. Many of you maybe know him very well and probably have met him many times too in different retreats and lectures. But he's based in Cambridge in our center there and is one of our very experienced teachers in Brahma Kumaris and has more than 40 years of practice within the Raja Yoga meditation. And Prashant's background is in surgery and integrated health. And as I understand it, you especially have the interest in the relationship between the psyche, emotions, behavior, and health, and all these different aspects, which also many of your talks are related to. And personally, I have met Prashant many times, and what I especially enjoy and appreciate with you is your creative and playful mind and the lightness and stability in way of being and living. So that is always shining through when you are sharing and spending time in different companies. So with that, I hand over to you and looking forward to this evening. The sound is not, we can't hear the sound.
So I was saying thank you to Suzanne and thank you to Katja. I just wanted to ask Suzanne, is it right? Am I speaking for 30 minutes now?
Yes, so if you speak for 30 minutes, and then, and I also forgot to say that actually, then we have time, 10-15 minutes for question answer. So if any of you have any questions that come to your mind during Prashant's talk, you are welcome to write it in the chat. And then we can have a little question answer time, and then we end with a 10-minute meditation.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Also, encouragement for all of you, whoever are comfortable to come into camera. You know, it is opportunity for us to create a classroom atmosphere as if we are together, even though there is a distance. You know, but as technology allows us to be together. So if you are comfortable, very welcome to come in the camera, and I like the interaction, so feel free to type your comments, questions. One nice story with one professor, one philosopher, he asks a question: what's the difference between optimist and pessimist? You know, so many people like to say half empty, half full, those kind of comments. So this particular professor, he makes a joke on this, and he says, optimist, he wakes up in the morning and he says, good morning, God. These 3 words, good morning, God. Pessimist wakes up and says, good God, morning. So for him, morning is a problem and evening is also a problem. To go to work is a problem, to come home is a problem. He's busy dealing with problems of the life. And the same person, the other person in the same situation, he feels every moment is an opportunity, and he is entertained by this. So what was the difference? And the difference is just being able to step back. That is the important word here. The moment person steps back, he is seeing things differently. We sometimes use the image of ant world and the eagle world. And I'll say, let me tell you one story. And Suzanne, do you like stories? Okay. Okay, in this story, one eagle comes on the ground and there was an insect on the back of a pig. And he tells this insect, do you want to be the eagle? Do you want to come to the sky? And the insect says, sky? What is there in the sky? He says, I will show you the world beyond the clouds. You'll see the sun. I'll show you the mountains, valleys. I'll show you the trees, animals. I will also bring you back to ground. You will see the pig also properly if you come to the sky. So you will be coming back to that pig. He said, I like the idea, but I have found land, new land here. The new land is a patch of mud on the back of the pig. And I don't want to lose this land. It is such a prime location. So come next week. So the eagle says, okay, I'll come next week. Eagle comes next week. You want to come to the sky? He says, I have found more land, so I'm busy with my progress, I am so lucky. But I want to come to the sky another time, next week. Next week, eagle comes. You want to come to the sky? And he says, no, I got some problems in my land. There are some cracks. I'm busy fixing the cracks. So maybe a week later, maybe another time, I'm busy now. I myself need help here. This is the example of one level of perspective, insect perspective of the world and the eagle perspective of the world. They are in the same world, but the perspective, what they are seeing is so different. Eagle will never choose to go to that level of the insect and get stuck in some mud and think that it is success. That insect is busy, and ideas of success and progress is going on. But the eagle would never like to come to that level. And now this is our story, surprisingly. And we have these options to step back and see from another angle altogether, different perspective. And when you are in that perspective, the eagle view of the world is very different to the insect view of the world. At present, we are at the insect level, insect consciousness. It is as if we are caught in an anthill, busy. Everyone is busy, but working within that anthill, ideas of progress, success, all going on at that level. And there is an option, not just progress of the ants, but there is a different option, a shift of consciousness. And you step back and you see things differently. I'm going to use the whiteboard, and I appreciate Katja. Thank you for giving me this option of the whiteboard. And what we will see if we are seeing this, our basic present perspective is the lower perspective. And in that lower perspective, unfortunately, the present perspective, we are harassed by one word. And do you want to make a guess? What is that word? You can type. I like as we said, I like the interaction. We are in this world, each and every human being on this planet, he has got one word that is ruling his life. What is that word? What will you answer if you are asked?
So some are writing war and want. I want.
Sure. The word I'm looking for, what you said.
Doing. Somebody else is writing doing.
Doing, yes. And along with this, even more dominant word is the word and. This word dominates our life. Like various things that we are dealing with, like relationship, the body, job, everything, your house, everything comes with a label. There is a time it is going to end. And we don't like this word end. And all our life, we are fighting this word end. Each and everyone. If someone is greedy, someone is trying to be angry, what is it angry for? Because he's trying to fight this word end. Doesn't like the end is guaranteed. Everything is going to end. So what is shown here in the blue box is our physical world. It comes with a label that everything there for me is going to end. And everyone leads the life of a failure as a result. But during the lifetime, his mentality is a victim mentality. He feels all his life is a potential victim. Anyone can just say a word, and he says he's a victim. Someone can break something, someone can do something. Mindset of a victim. Victim is a low denomination. The lowest denomination in a society is a victim. And our mindset itself is like that. And then that decides various other things that he's doing, coming from that victim mindset. We have the option, and let us come to that eagle perspective. Same world, and he is now seeing it from beyond. Shift of consciousness, as we said. He is seeing from, in this necessarily, person has to wake up to that reality. And in that awake state, he realizes that what is happening here is a great theater. We are a drama company in a true sense. Here is a theater. We are performing a act in this theater. And one who is acting, he himself is not from that world. If you are acting in a drama, you don't belong to that story. You don't belong to that drama. You don't belong to that stage. You go on the stage as an actor. You come out of the story as an actor. So here, this one is an invisible actor. He comes on the stage. He has a part. He comes out of the stage. In this higher consciousness, he understands that his world itself is timeless. Timeless, endless, and changeless. He wakes up to realize that this is his world, and he has come into this extraordinary theater. And theater, of course, it has a beginning and an end, and it has changes all the time, and there are dragons acting here, and camel, and villain, and jokers. That is the way the drama is. Every theater has got variety within it. And so he knows it beforehand. He's never disappointed by this. And as a result, he realizes that this whole thing here, what is a physical world, is a gift for him. For him, this whole theater is a gift. Every moment is a gift. He's not a victim. He understands that he's never a victim. Nothing in this world, in this blue box, can harm him. Story cannot harm anyone. Story is harmless. Many things may happen in that story, but it doesn't harm you. He understands this. He is beyond harm. Now, can you imagine? We said earlier that word "and" it tricks us in one mindset of constantly trying to address this "and," the insecurity of the victim. The moment he realizes that he is harmless, the word is harmless, then he is experiencing a completely different mind. It shifts. This applies to you, me, everyone. Some dog, the moment he sees you, he's sort of thinking, are you going to harm him or not? If you are not going to harm him, he wants to play with you. He's happy. Anything that is some insect, bird, he's saying, are you going to harm him? Are you going to eat him? Are you going to shoot him? But if you are not going to do it, he's happy. This is the way each and every one of us operate. We want to be secure. That's all. And once you are secure, that is enough. You experience happiness. In the studies with near-death experiences, I know these are cases where people die and they come back to life and they tell you the experience, what happened when they were out of body. So these are called near-death experiences. If you go into internet, you might read lots and lots of cases of this near-death. So they see themselves, they have died of something, but by resuscitation or different method, they are brought back to life. And do you know what they speak of? All these cases, majority of these cases, they speak of bliss. They experience higher happiness. They experience love. They experience contentment, peace. They experience immortality. And so they have gone through this process of death. They died, and then they realize that they can't die anymore. They discover that they exist and there's nothing, they can't die anymore. And the moment they realize they can't die, there is no death, there is no harm, they experience bliss. But that is what, we don't have to die for that. We just have to wake up to that higher consciousness. And the moment you come to that higher consciousness and you discover that you are beyond harm, this is an important word for us, worth writing down. In our lower consciousness, we feel many things can harm us here. At least the climate and some neighboring countries and some person, animals, we feel as if we are in this world where potentially, we are insecure. That's why victim. If it is lower consciousness, that feeling will come. When you come to the eagle consciousness, you see beyond the anthill, and you realize that you are beyond harm, then you become free from the entire department of the negative. There is nothing negative for you now. There is nothing to be complaining about. There is nothing to worry about. You see the story. You see the drama. There is nothing to complain there, nothing to criticize, nothing to be concerned, nothing to crave for, nothing to cry for. Zero, all of this. And person experiences that positive space, extremely positive space. And in this positive space, you discover there is happiness, there is peace, there is security. You know of your immortality. You experience contentment. All this, and happiness comes with its friends. All these feelings, rich feelings, positive feelings, they come. And now you are seeing the physical world. I'm talking here the entire universe, physical universe. You see this as an extraordinary gift at a macro level and micro level. If anything is not going to harm you, it becomes an extra gift for you. Say there is a gun, and a child takes out a gun, but you know that that gun is a toy gun. It is not going to harm you, child's gun. Then it becomes a toy. It is a nice thing. It becomes fun. It is not a problem. The whole area is it going to harm me or not? That is what is very important for us. Whole idea of play and circus just means it is not going to harm you. Lots going on there, but there are tigers, lions, but you are not going to be harmed. Then it becomes positive. So also here, you are discovering that you are beyond harm. And you see now your vision with which you are seeing this world, it becomes positive world and a gift. For a person who is like this, he finds this whole physical world, it is a great story. It is actually a story, but he sees it as a story. So what happened yesterday and what happened today, a story. That's all. It is a harmless story. It's a great performance. So it is a drama also. It's a story performance. But see, if it's a drama, see the scale of it, what a stage it is, and the richness and the variety characters. It's a great drama. It is also a holiday. Well, for one who is in higher consciousness, he finds it's a great holiday. What happens in a holiday? You have your own house, you got your own town, your job, your world. And for 1 week, you go to another place, and you find out everything is nice, and you come. You don't stay there forever. You come. So also here, person who is in the higher consciousness, he feels this is a great holiday for him, and he doesn't want to stay there forever. It's temporary experience. There is a beginning to the holiday and there is an end to the holiday. That's great, but he has his own world. He wants to come back to his world. One thing that is guaranteed in this holiday, which other holiday companies cannot guarantee. What is it? Your other holiday companies, they cannot guarantee you something, whereas this holiday, there is absolute guarantee. What is it? You want to answer?
You're welcome to write in the chat again. So comments are feeling true, to get home, that we are safe.
It's good, very good. This holiday company gives you the absolute guarantee you will return home safely. Guaranteed you are going to come back home. Other holiday companies cannot give you the guarantee. You might get locked down. There can be many things that can happen. But here, you're definitely going to come back. And so also this is like for him, it's a great circus. Roller coaster. People pay money to go in a roller coaster. This is also a great roller coaster that is going on. He sees this whole physical world as a PlayStation. It's a play. That's why this invisible actor, he is also invisible player. He doesn't say there's a problem in this world. No, he's in an extraordinary PlayStation. They're three-dimensional, just like people play in the computer games, in a little screen. Here it is much bigger. Who is playing the invisible player? Invisible player is in this great PlayStation. In essence, he finds this whole experience here is a gift. Literally, he feels there is nothing to complain about, nothing to criticize, nothing of concern, zero concern. Because in this story, no one dies and no one is born. This is the way he sees. He knows that everyone is immortal and everyone is noble, everyone is good, and everyone belongs to this one family. And when I say everyone, I include in this life beyond humans. Not just human beings, but all. They're all good at innate deep level. That's why your dog and your cat, they want to be happy. They are loving, and they experience the same feelings and emotion. Why? Because we all have experienced it at this level, just that now we have dropped in our consciousness. We have gone into that ant world, the consciousness has dropped to that level, and trying to get all these, immortality and peace and bliss, and at this lower level where we can't get, because in this lower level, in the ant hill, that is not. We are into the ignorance. In ignorance, there is no answer. Like if some child, he has got all the toys and home and mother, father, but if he's confused and he's crying because of something, you can't solve it when anyone is confused. He has to be taken out of confusion first. Then there is answer. So at present, the real issue of this life and our family, soul family, is confusion, ignorance, lower consciousness. They move out of this lower consciousness and they discover that everyone is good, immensely good. They are immensely worthy of love. They are harmless and extremely dear. And they are lovely, loving, and lucky. This is what you see in each and every one. And this is unconditional. This is not based upon what they do in the story. Story, there is a part that is going on. They have to play that part. But behind, their true reality. And because of that, your vision, that actually helps them to come out of that anthill. You stay in that higher consciousness and you are creating light in that process because you are seeing something different and you help others to come in that higher consciousness. Maybe I'll stop here. I know I should not speak too much, but we'll be very, very happy to address your comments and questions? The world is positive.
So if you have any questions or reflections that you want to share, you're more than welcome to write them in the chat. So one comment is, thank you for the beautiful talk, Prashant. So yeah, you have the chance, so take the chance to ask a question.
I know in Finland you have many questions. And so we created time.
So Henna is writing something in Finnish. I don't understand Finnish. So maybe somebody could, in that case, say it in English.
Yeah, you can ask also Finnish, write in Finnish the question.
So maybe I can ask something meanwhile, in that case. I picked up when you were talking about the insecurity and you mentioned being a victim. And it felt like you were intending that there was some connection between the two. Would you like to expand a bit on that?
Oh yeah, sure. You know, we saw in that sketch, we come in this world, physical world, and we said physical world, everything has limits, everything has an end. And the moment we start creating attachments in this world, some kind of me, my, temporary, we claim things in this world, then insecurity comes. I can lose it now, you know, and it feels as if I got something to lose. And the mindset where I can lose something, I miss something, I lack something, I need something. These four areas. These four were not there in the higher consciousness. These four things come in the lower consciousness. And that is secondary to creating bondage. And these four feelings, you know, I can lose, I can miss, I'm missing, I lack, and I need. That these feelings make us internally feel empty. Some emptiness comes. In that higher consciousness, there is feeling of fullness. That's why I'm lucky. I lack nothing. I don't own anything in that anthill, but you feel it every moment is a gift. You are appreciating the holiday story, but you don't want to claim anything. But in the lower consciousness, this is mine, and I can lose it. So he actually feels more empty. And now any change, he feels it disturbs him, because suddenly things can change, things can end, change bothers him, end bothers him. And he feels I'm a victim, you know, poor me, that kind of feeling, poor me. Someone says something, poor me, you know, I made more insecure. You know, someone breaks something. In the higher consciousness, there is, people can say what they like, and that whole holiday down, the world finishes, that story finishes, and he loses nothing. He is never a victim. And because of that positive mind, he sees, he enjoys the beginning, he enjoys the end of the drama. He doesn't feel end is bad in some way. Drama finishes, one episode finished. Okay, good. We go home.
So would you say it's really a choice?
Yes, totally. We have a choice to shift in that higher consciousness. It also means I have to let go of some of my bondages. To go to the higher consciousness, I have to let go of my insect attachments. Some junk that is collected in the insect world. I have to say I don't need it anymore.
Yeah, I was also thinking about what came to my mind when I heard you sharing was if you could also connect with filling oneself with inner power, because it feels like to be able to, or how can we sustain this consciousness? It's one thing when we hear about it and it's all like a pull to it, but then to sustain it in everyday life when many things are distracting us, it feels like we need a lot of inner power or strength. So could you say something about that?
Yeah, that's excellent. I might encourage more and more people to draw a sketch like this. Just seeing the bigger map, and that brings strength. Just seeing it, that intellect changes. You are able to see things differently. It is almost like you discover the wings. For us, the intellect is the wing. You are able to see, the possibility. In that lower consciousness, we don't even know that anything exists beyond the end here. Here you're just seeing there is a different way of looking at the same thing. And that is, it may start as a concept. Someone who is an anthill, to start with, there's no concept of the eagle, no concept of the sky. But once you start seeing things, then you realize we are a race of eagles and we are from the sky, just that we have dropped to the lower consciousness.
So it's really more about returning to something that belonged to us.
Yes. Yeah.
So one question has come in, so I will read it. It's from Kathy. There is a lot of divide or division in this play world right now. People are fighting about things like politics and whether to get the COVID vaccine or not. A lot of relationships and friendships are getting broken over it. How can I help to bring peace to people who are fighting?
Yes. Very interesting to see. Let us take the example of Ukraine and Russia. What Putin is saying, he wants to feel secure. That is the whole thing. He says NATO is coming too close. He wants to feel secure. And at present, he feels insecure. Okay, he feels insecure, and in some way, he's trying to address his insecurity. But he's trying to address that insecurity from that lower consciousness, from that perspective of confusion. And what he's doing, he's making his country more insecure in the process. Like compared to, say, 2 months ago, today, the country is more insecure because everybody is sending guns in that direction. Everyone's attention is in that direction. All the military is going in that direction. Is it making him secure? More insecure. Maybe the whole world is made more insecure. But in the name, his starting position is he wants to feel secure. But the answer is in confusion. And I'm talking here about Putin, but the same is the story with everyone on the planet. They work for the answer in that confusion. They all are insecure in some respect, in their own limited way, some insecure, and they want to feel secure. And so they are looking for answers in that anthill. Here, they are looking for answer. And there are no answers at that level because there is story cannot provide us, the true security. The only true security we get is in clarity. We have to come to the life without confusion. In knowledge, we have to come into remove the blinds, see clearly. And when you are seeing clearly, you realize that our starting position is secure. Security is at another level. The real answer for everyone is to come out of that insect consciousness. Our normal, what is normal for us is higher consciousness. And once that is addressed, that is done, now game changes. You are seeing the whole thing differently. As if you are, at the moment, everything is upside down. You are seeing it the right way up.
What would you say is, I'm thinking also about another word that comes to mind is responsibility, because I think also one thing that many of us so easily get, you feel responsible for things. And but what's really our responsibility?
Sure. Who will be able to carry out the responsibility better? One who is in a lower consciousness, in confusion, or when I am free from confusion and in clarity, and also feeling happy and loving and secure. When will I be carrying out the responsibility better? Like in a hospital kind of setting, if a surgeon is attached to some patient, say his own child is to be operated upon, and so he is having emotional feelings, to the patient, then he is not allowed to do the operation. He will not do a good job. He has got good skills, but he will not do the job properly because he has got emotions there. When he is not attached, then he is very useful to the patient. Same thing happens here. If you are attached and if you are in that low emotions and feeling sad and victim, you are not able to carry out your responsibility properly. When you are in that higher space and higher feelings, there is contentment, peace, security, then you will be more useful to others, more useful to yourself. Thinking clearly to be able to understand the picture clearly, that is extremely necessary to be useful to others. Otherwise, without understanding the complete picture of our own life, of anyone else's, this world, so we are as if blind, leading the blind.
Could you share something about how do you yourself practice? Like when you have a day, how do you use these things during your day? And I know you meditate a lot, of course, and have those timings for meditation, but then how do you practice, when you are, because as you say, this is a shift of consciousness, and it's an option, it's a choice, and all of this. It's to be awake to these concepts and thoughts and higher awareness. So could you say something of how you sustain your practice?
Yeah, nice. And the reason I'm emphasizing this sketch, and let me draw that sketch again, partly because that is very important for my own practice also. And in this sketch, draw it again. What is really happening? The best times, when there is attention, full attention, the awareness of the invisible player, not using the word soul, we are talking about the soul, but feeling is, here is the invisible player who is completely different to Prashant. Prashant is part of the story. The invisible player, he knows he is very lucky. He is from a different, unearthly dimension. He knows of his life with God, and he is in truth. In this world, many scholars are looking for truth, searching for truth. Whereas the invisible player, he lives in truth. He knows the truth about the self to start with. He knows the truth of everyone. He knows the true dimension of this world. He knows the true benevolence to others. He is in truth and experiences this, knows the worthiness to belong to God, worthiness to be loved by God, knows what the highest reward can ever be. There can't be anyone who can have a higher quality of life than this, because he feels every moment is a gift. Down below it is a gift, and he himself feels lucky. He knows everyone is lucky. They have to wake up. They all are lucky because they are all beings of bliss and love, and they are immortal. There is nothing for anyone really to worry about or complain about. Things are happening, many things are happening. That is in the story. So there is not for anyone, there is not the slightest thing to worry about. No one is truly a victim, but they have to wake up. And he understands what the true benevolence is. Now, your question, this is what happens when the attention is maximum, proper maximum attention. Surprisingly, even though I am personally aware of it, attention may not be the same through the day. And there are things that you are into the anthill, and many things you are spending time. And so creating time to come back and making that more and more natural, making that higher awareness more and more natural. And it has its flavors. Once you create even 1 minute in this, that flavor remains for the next hour. It is a bit like that.
How much would you say it's necessary that we really sit down, to practice, or can it have the same effect when we are, if I go for a walk or if I wait for the bus or something like that?
For me, sit down has a more power in that, as that experience is there. When you are active, speech is a bit of an extra distraction for me. But if I'm silently walking or something like this, that is the time, that is the next best.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm aware of the time. So maybe let's then go into an experience.
Sure.
If you would like to guide us into that. Thank you.
Sure. I don't know if I'm trying to change the spotlight. I don't know if that happens.
Yeah, Katja, could you please remove the whiteboard also?
I can do that. So in this, we keep the body comfortable in whatever posture we choose. And we have the option to go for this highest now in 1 second. It is a bit like we come in the eagle world. And we are seeing the perspective of the invisible player. Invisible soul is the invisible player. An invisible player, he knows he belongs to that region beyond. We see it in the image of the sky. World of complete silence. But this is the home of the invisible brothers. This is the true family. All are noble, all are immortal. For the invisible player, everyone is good. He knows that everyone is childlike, harmless, and innocent, loving, happy. All are like this. Immensely lovely and loving forever. He knows this eternal truth of everyone. He is aware this is the home of the Father. At this level, all are like stars, and that is normal. They all look like stars. So also the Father. But we are aware of the personalities. He is the supreme friend, is the friend of the soul. One who is the wisest, highest, holiest. He realized the truth of everyone. He is immensely beautiful. Here we are talking about their life with God, their life in world of truth, the real world, their world of immortality. And as we continue on our journey, we remember the beautiful truth of all of us. Thank you.
So thank you so much for taking us through this hour. It was very uplifting, and I hope that all of you also felt that you took benefit and took some newness with you and inspiration. So thank you so much, Prashant, and nice to meet you in this way again. So yeah.